Have you ever been on the verge of giving up? Not because you don't care anymore, but because you've put in so much work, so much effort for so long, and you just start wondering, is any of this actually working? You've been showing up, taking action, sacrificing, which, by the way, those are the 3 hardest parts. You've been learning, growing, and yet nothing in your life really looks any different. The things you want, they don't feel any closer. You start asking yourself things like, am I actually getting anywhere though? And this is the dangerous part, because when you have no visible evidence of progress, it's really easy to start believing that there is no progress. But what if some of the most important progress in your life happens long before any visible evidence shows up? I'm 39, and in the past decade, I have had to learn this lesson several times. Man. I learned it while I was getting sober, which, by the way, has been more than once this past decade. I learned the lesson while moving across the country just this past October into a bunch of unknowns. I learned this lesson while starting acting a few years ago when I had no background, no experience in the field. I've learned this lesson with this YouTube channel that I've been building from zero, which, by the way, thank you so much to my 23 subscribers. I really appreciate you, and I'm so honored that you're here. One of the reasons that a lot of people give up, one of the biggest reasons, is because they confuse invisible progress with no progress. Maybe you've been trying to find work that fulfills you, but no new opportunity has shown up. However, you are developing incredible clarity about what you actually want. That's progress. Or maybe you've been eating better and or being more physically active, yet your body doesn't really look any different yet. However, you have become someone who keeps promises to yourself. That's progress. Or maybe you've been building something, a business, a creative project, new skills, but you don't really have anyone cheering you on yet. You don't really have any validation yet. But you are becoming someone who shows up even without applause. That's progress. And let's not forget that if you're building a life that you want, you're probably creating less space for things that are no longer aligned with you. That's progress. And that progress has a huge positive ripple effect in your life. Instead of comparing yourself to people who seem light years ahead of you, compare yourself to old versions of yourself. The version of yourself from 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, however far back you want to go. Because chances are you're underestimating how far you've actually come, because you are distracted by or too focused on the finish line. You've actually been building a foundation within yourself that is going to help take you wherever you want to go. Like, you didn't used to have this foundation. Used to be a gust of wind could come of discouragement, disappointment, surprise, whatever, and it would blow you onto another path, or it would blow you over onto the ground, knock you down. But you have built a foundation within yourself that you can now stand strong, stand steady. You might not be moving forward as fast as you want to, but you aren't going to be pushed in directions that are not aligned with you anymore. That's progress. That is so powerful. Be proud of yourself about that. The hardest thing isn't the work. A lot of people are capable of hard work. The hardest thing is continuing to move forward when you have no proof that anything you're doing is working. This is where a lot of people give up. Not because they're incapable, but because you start asking yourself things like, or thinking things like, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm wasting my time. Maybe I'm fooling myself thinking that this is something I can achieve. And these thoughts can be very convincing because you don't have any evidence to argue them with. You've got to start asking yourself different questions. Instead of, is this working? Start asking yourself, am I becoming the type of person who can create the life that I want? Who can hold on tight to the life that I want and feel called to live? Because it's in these moments when you have no proof that anything's working, when you continue to show up in those moments, those are the moments that begin to reshape your future. Because you're developing something that's more important than external results. You're developing trust with yourself, partnership with yourself. Instead of measuring your success and progress on things like views, recognition, money, opportunities, start measuring consistency, your courage, your discipline, skills, resilience. And I'm even going to add on the space you continue to build between you and things that no longer serve you. Because these that I just mentioned are all things that you do have control over. And ironically, these are the things that eventually, ultimately, do produce external results that last. You are going to continue to face challenges when you're building a life that you want. I myself am facing a new version of challenges right now with this YouTube channel. Like, it would be nice to have more validation by now. For example, I posted a video 3 days ago. It only got 6 views. I posted a video this morning and I happened to check it 6 hours in and it had 1 view and 1 like. Woo! So, like, it would be nice to have more validation by now. Which means that sometimes I do have thoughts like, maybe I should do like an entertainment channel. Like where they react to things and, they're funny and they entertain you. That could get me like faster results, like more satisfying attention faster. But then I ask myself, 5 years from now though, what would you be glad that you chose? Which path? The path that's easier and gets you validation faster, or the path that's more aligned with you? And you're gonna have to be probably more patient about, work hard on, with invisible evidence of progress the whole time, for a while. We all know which path I'm choosing. So these types of questions, they don't resolve all the concerns, worry, discomfort of the current situation, but they do help cut through the fear. They do help shed light on the right next step. So I encourage you to ask yourself these questions. 5 years from now, what path would you be proud that you chose? The path that's easier and gives you faster validation, or the path that's more aligned with you? So, before jumping into letting today's results determine tomorrow's actions, remind yourself that sometimes the most important thing you're building is not external results. It's you. If this video resonated with you, I have created a free worksheet called the Alignment Check-In. The link is in the description below. And if you're new here, my name's Kirsten. Hi! My channel, Become the Proof, is meant for people who are feeling called to a more aligned, alive, and fulfilling life. If there is no evidence that you can achieve what you want to achieve, become the proof. So, thank you guys for your time, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!